Good morning. All right, roll call, please.
Travis Franks,
Present.
Mark Boyle,
Here.
Ingrid Wilson, Darrell Wiley,
Here.
Jacob Coco,
Present.
Clyde Benson, Alan Thomas,
Here.
McKinley Keller, Sam Pierce.
Here.
Okay. We're gonna move on to item 5, but I think there's some issues that we need to try to clarify before we get going on this. We had a discussion about capital outlay, whether or not it was voted on. We voted on something. Hopefully today I want some clarification. I'm not saying what we voted on was right. I want to know what we voted on and what was the intent of it. All right, because we had some people. Also, I'm gonna play a video for you that we all seem to somehow got a little amnesia because of the time frame that took place. This is a video February 10th at a committee meeting where Mr. Borlon gets up and tells us what had happened, Mr. Benson, and I apologize for the sound, it's not too good, but Mr. Benson had explained, just got through explaining where we was gonna get that $350,000 from, how it got formulated, and then Kevin comes up and verifies and goes a little further. If you listen to here, he's gonna tell us that there was $354,000 in the savings account for capital outlay. He's gonna tell you there was $750,000 in house bill money, and he explains how we came up with the $350 for the other districts that didn't get any state money or house money or the capital outlay, supposedly. And then also it's gonna say that he includes and says it's a $1.4 million project, and it was gonna include Road District 2, which would have thrown it over about $2.2 million. So if we can play the tape, it's kind of, you have to really listen, but that's what it says, okay?
Yes,
Yeah.
look at the bottom, or, there you go, on this. Yeah. Just hit them,
Right there.
right there, press it.
I've hit in the middle.
It's down there because I'm
This is
playing it.
February.
This is February 10th, 2025. This is at the committee meeting.
It cannot play me now, played it yesterday.
It's not playing?
But if you go through it, it shows the time. Well,
Okay.
you have it somewhere else, like on your phone maybe? or-
Yeah, I have it on the phone, but I can,
Play
I
it.
guess we could hear the
I
volume.
don't know why it's doing that, because it's showing the bar.
Darrell, what date is this?
This is February 10th, 2025.
No, that was from the phone, that's how I got it.
Here. I didn't know that.
While you're getting that straight, can I say a couple things about that?
Sure.
Yeah. There's no question that at the committee meeting, a lot of things were explained. But one of the most common problems with public bodies is a committee meeting is not final. Okay, everything has to be decided by the police jury as a whole.
I understand that.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure, because that's gonna be a key to what we're discussing right now. And certainly in the future, anytime the police jury has a committee and decides we're gonna spend money on this road or whatever, this project, it doesn't matter, the entire board or the entire police jury has to vote on it to approve it. And sometimes we get lost in that confusion.
And I'm gonna go back, 'cause we
Okay.
go back to September for this. This is, I don't know if everybody can hear it.
Which the automatic match would have
And the point being that we were made aware of this, so if you wanna watch this video, you can go to, Cajun, and it's February 10th, 2025. Now, to go back, let's go back to September 2024. We passed 2 resolutions that day, all right? One was for the capital outlay,
Go again,
and
go again, Lauren. Next page. Next page.
all right, this resolution right here that we want to talk about, I'd like to get some clarification from that, and that's why I've asked Rhett and Brendan to be here today, because I want to know what this entails, what they were thinking, what they were expecting from us out of this deal, and what in turn vice versa. And also we passed, I think it was House 776, I think, on the
Yes.
same meeting, I think. Am I correct? It was the same meeting. So we passed 2 things in September 24 that I'd like to have some clarification. I think everybody else would like to hear some clarification to see if we have proceeded wrong or if we have proceeded right in this matter. If not, then that's what we're here for today, to fix it. All right? So, Red or Mr. Brandon, if y'all wanna first start to talk about this capital outlay,
Yeah, we have to, yeah, I got you. I'm sorry, I couldn't see. Well, I didn't bring my glasses, I'm sorry.
that's the 776, go to the capital outlay.
This is the resolution authorizing, Mr. Darrell to enter into a CEA with, state of Louisiana for $118,000 for JV Loop Road. There should be 4 similar resolutions.
There are.
There
They're
are.
gonna follow this one. Those are all for.
Actually,
hospital
those
money.
were passed in October, right,
Yeah,
of
there's
2024.
one Carroll 255.
Yes.
Ed Carroll, 255, Furman, 127, JB Luke, 118, and Louis Hormson, 250.
Yep.
To be
And that
exact on the
authorizes-
appropriations from Treasury.
That authorizes Mr. Darrell to enter into the CEA. Y'all do the work, Treasury Department
Yes, sir.
gives you the money. There's another one.
Do we have the capital outlay from 2024?
That-
This is.
This
for-
is the minutes, okay? That, these are 2 minutes. The first one's from Travis, the second by Jacob to resolution of Pan American Engineers.
Oh, that one's right here, yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's
7.
House bill and capital.
And then the motion for capital outlay. Okay, go to the
Yeah,
next
yeah,
slide.
Those 2 resolutions.
But hold on. Can I ask a question, Brendan? To you? That says approve a vote for you to do the application for 2025
When was it?
capital
September?
outlay.
Yeah, that's
Is
the
that right,
application.
Mr. Darrow? Is that what you're referencing?
Yeah.
That was the application.
I wanna know, but I wanna know specifically what, us signing that.
Does it specify allocation of funds, or does it say application?
Actually, it says engineering and program admin,
Okay,
but nothing about.
Go to the second one, what I'm talking about. No, go back.
The second line. Go ahead.
The second line, that one right there.
That's for capital outlay. It's the same as the previous. It's just for a different,
That's administration too, right?
Yes.
Okay, go in detail for that for us, please.
Look, that's our conventional services, our design services. Program admin is what we do with the coordination between y'all and facility planning, doing the paperwork here, doing the drawdowns, et cetera, et cetera. So engineering is our conventional engineering and inspection, and program administration is coordination between you and any other entities.
Okay? So when we signed that resolution, basically what were we saying?
You told me to go to work.
So it was already it was planned, right?
Yes.
I have copies if
Okay.
anybody's interested. This is for the capital outlay.
Is this something that you, I know y'all do business with other people, is this basically the same,
Yes, we get selected by resolution.
doing business with other people?
Yes.
Mr. Frank?
hey, Mr. Gaspard, in any way, does that give Pan American the authority by Louisiana Budgetary Act or any law you know in doing all that, you do a lot of business, that authorizes you in any way to make an allocation of capital outlay funds for the
No.
police jury?
No.
Any governing authority?
No.
Okay, that's what I researched, okay?
That y'all telling me. to
This
go
is
to
just
work.
a really application and to do the engineering work is all this resolution references here. But in no way
Okay,
can
so
it-
when you went to work, there was 354 $100,000 in capital outlay.
Mhm.
Okay, now, this seems to be the problem. We have some saying we didn't approve this, and some, like myself, and that's why I want some clarification, thinking that since we passed this resolution, that kinda was included.
Guys, let me tell you, here is the old school budget that me and Kevin and Rhett and Mr. Clyde developed. And basically implemented for the job. And it's just what someone said earlier in that recording, whatever. 1.4 million total, 750,000 coming out of House bill, 350,000 coming out of capital outlay. Total, $118,000 for capital outlay match, another 206,300 coming out of roads and bridge. You add them all up, $1,428,000. And that's the budget we have followed up to and including today.
So, can I interject just for a second? So if you look at the House bill money, and if you go back to the resolutions, can you go back to those
Reading the first one.
first resolutions? I just want y'all to look at one word that is very, very important. It says, the appropriation amount is $118,000 and must be used for J.B. Luke improvements. There's no wiggle room. The word must means you have to use it for that road. These are line item appropriations, meaning that I had to get 2/3 of the state legislature to agree to spend $118,000 on J.B. Luke Road. They didn't say if you decided to spend it somewhere else, you can do that. That's not what they voted on. So to change any of those things, I have to go back to the legislature and say, I would like to change my line item appropriation. So, Brendan, I respect y'all a lot, and I know y'all been in this game a long time, way more than me. But you can't create a budget mixing dedicated funds that are project specific, that you cannot move, with dollars that you can move.
Okay?
And
But I can tell you,
And Mr.
we
Desatiel,
spent $118,000 of House bill money on J.B. Luke Road.
that's
And
correct.
if we
We
go
did
to the
not.
next resolution, we spend $255,000 on Ed Carroll Road.
Nope.
No, actually, Mr. Desatiel, we only spent 163, which includes engineering and in-house costs and everything. I can go for it.
So that leftover money goes back to the state's general fund. Those dollars were surplus dollars. They weren't capital outlay dollars. They don't go back to the capital outlay program. They go back to the state general budget, and then the state will allocate those $90,000 to wherever they deem appropriate. That's just the way line item appropriations work. And if you wanted to change it, we could have changed it, but you can't not.
Process.
Could we do a change order to our job? It's not over. Go back and add some tonnage on Ed Carroll
Yes,
Road and on Herman
absolutely,
Road.
absolutely.
And for the record, Mr. Darrell, for the record, in January, Brendan Gaspar with Pan American told this jury, do not mix the funds, it will be easier. Jamie Wiley seconded that, and I so said it also. So we tried, but the funds were mixed in because, and not to blame Kevin, Kevin says, as a construction aspect, get it as a total job, which I understand that, and price per ton of asphalt, but that's why we're in the position we are today without capital outlay ever being voted on as an appropriation of funds. That's what the problem is. There's no voting resolution
So I
for
think
that.
we're mixing terms here.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of our confusion is coming in. Y'all haven't gotten direct appropriations from the state until I really got here. I mean, I hadn't seen a lot of that, okay? So it's a different animal. You use capital outlay, which is a specific program that every year the legislature puts a certain dollar amount in this big bucket for capital outlay across the entire state, which is fixing our universities, fixing our whatever state agencies we have, and then a small portion of that goes back to be able to fix non-state entities like police juries or towns or whatever. So that's one bucket of money, and it can only be used for that. What we've had in the last, I don't know, 5 or 6 years are excess and surplus dollars in the state. And the legislature has voted to take a portion of those excess and surplus dollars and say, okay, we're gonna let each legislator spend basically that amount of money on projects that they want to. There's no match, there's no, none of that. However, it does get a little dicey, which I don't like. Some of these projects actually, the facility planning, actually, who administers capital outlay, also administers those programs. So you're dealing with the same people, but it's two separate pots of money, okay? And two separate allocations, and you can't cross them. You can't take one from the other and the other one from that. I hope that makes sense. And I think it's not y'all fault, it's just the terminology, capital outlay
versus treasury.
versus treasury. And in some cases, it gets even more confusing because I'd take a capital outlay request. I'll give you an example. Clocherville wanted a new fire department. It was a capital outlay request. It did not get approved in capital outlay. But I took that application and I moved it and said, okay, I'm gonna use treasury money. I'm gonna use surplus dollars to fund that project. So it looks like they're capital outlay, but it's not. It's
No match.
Treasury.
right. Just because they have an application here doesn't mean that that's where the money came from.
There's no match on that one, it's straight dollars.
Straight cash.
Straight dollars, because I didn't use the capital outlay
That's right.
program, I used
Treasury.
treasury
That's
money,
right.
or surplus.
Same thing with Bartlesville.
Same thing in Bartlesville,
Yeah.
same thing in Hessmer, same thing in, Fifth Ward. same
Which is
thing-
better.
Mhm.
Now, Darryl, if there's excess capital outlay money, the police jury gets $500,000 for a capital outlay project. The project ends up only costing $350,000. So there's $150,000 left of capital outlay money that wasn't spent. That excess capital outlay money, can the jury then proceed to reallocate that capital outlay money to another project?
So here's the answer is kinda, alright? And the reason being is because the application on capital outlay, that we're discussing today, says parish-wide road improvements.
Right.
It doesn't have a specific road. So if the jury decides, I wanna use $1 on this road, they can, and they wanna use the rest of it on this can, and they have some money left over, they can vote to use it somewhere else.
Just roads and bridges?
Just roads.
Roads.
Roads, just
Cause it
roads,
says parish-wide road
Roadways.
improvement. If
Okay.
they wanna do a bridge, they can't use that money.
only roads.
It's just
Okay.
roads.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, so if there's excess capital outlay that's designed for parish road, they didn't use it all for what they intended to, they can reallocate those funds. But then they would have to thereafter come back and say on the record, this project, we got approved 500, we only spent 350, we have 150 left. We want to reallocate those funds to this road.
And that's a local, I don't know how the board works and how they vote on that, and I don't wanna get involved in that. I just wanna explain this from the state standpoint and my standpoint, how my system works, and I think the DA can tell you how that should be done. I don't wanna get that.
Statute 39, 1303, and 1305 says expenditures may not exceed appropriations legally adopted by the governing authority. It also says an appropriation ordinance or resolution gives legal authority for departments to spend funds. So to answer your question more specifically, Any capital outlay funds that are old, new, has to come to this jury. It has to be discussed. It kind of was mentioned, but regardless of mention, requires a full vote by the jury as we pass these resolutions for the treasury money Darryl got us. That has always been done. Every year in November, we present a budget, and that's gonna be our yearly operating budget for 2026. We present it in November to the full jury. Then we're required to have a public hearing, which budget corrections that we do in the jury requires a public hearing also. I want to make note of that in the laws, not Travis. We then, so getting back, November, December, we have a public hearing for the public to speak. Then the full jury approves a budget for the next year. And all departments, every department and this jury have to follow that budget. Any extra funds that are gonna be spent in one specific department has to come back for reappropriation. Jonathan Gaspard just mentioned last week, appropriation or even a reappropriation of funds requires a full jury vote, and the majority have to. Am I being correct by saying that, Mr. DA? Okay, I did my homework by talking to people, auditor, that tells me
There's always an opportunity to have a budget amendment, but obviously.
a budget amendment doesn't happen after the fact. I mean, once the money has been allocated and the work's been
You
done,
can do it
right?
after the fact.
Right, and I wanna just be clear.
You pass the budget in December, and if something happens, like in July or whatever, you get some extra money from the state, wherever, you have a budget amendment for that year's budget that has already been approved the December before. So
Correct.
budget amendments can occur, but it has to be voted on by a majority.
So it's safe to say moving forward that, because we have, 3 other roads, I think, coming up with House bill money, the best thing to do is just go ahead and use that House bill money. Now, I'm just gonna say this, and I don't know if you understand my point or not, Travis. My point is, we were told about this. We went along with it, because after that meeting that night, I asked anybody got any questions. Nobody questioned that. Nobody questioned anything on this project. Not one time, until we found out you were short on your roads. Okay? So, that's where it all started, but I kinda got worried, thought, well, maybe somebody took my money and put it on their roads. That did not happen.
Okay.
House bill money went to your road, my road, Sam's road, and I'm thinking, that was it, wasn't it? 3, 4? Pops Road, okay? The capital outlay was used on my road, Sam's, Pops, Mark, and Clyde's. Now, did we vote on that? No, we did not. But I think it was an honest mistake, thinking that it was a combined project, that's what this money was gonna use to complete this project. But we were told that money was gonna need to complete this project. So, I just wanted to clarify that. That's my big thing, cause I kinda got my integrity was insulted. And, I took that as, everybody sitting here in these chairs heard and saw everything I did, okay?
The important thing to remember is that everybody has to vote.
That's fine.
And if it's reported or if the legislative article finds a fault, you can address that today. A correction to what has been done in the past, rather than just spend money based upon a committee meeting or whatever. You're gonna make sure that every time money is reallocated, that it is voted on by the entire board or the entire body.
No doubt.
Now, the February 10th committee meeting, when it was discussed, I remember in detail that the following police jury meeting.
Was
I'm
it
guessing
approved?
the-
Yeah, we
the
approved it.
problem-
No, you approved the
problem is-
350 that Clyde did.
That was 75,000 for the districts that did not receive treasury funding.
Is what came up at the
That's
following
correct.
police jury
Right.
meeting.
That is correct.
So the snafu
And that
was-
350 came from, correct me, Kevin, was basically matching the capital outlay that we were gonna use for the project. That figure.
It give us enough money to complete the House bill projects and, put an even amount of money that the, committee come up with to give each juror something that they could do, too, that were getting treasury money.
So bottom line, the snafu is it didn't come up at the
Yeah.
following police jury meeting to officially have them repeat it and say, okay, and vote on it
Right.
to make it official, I guess is the issue,
But
right?
getting back to Mr. Representative, what you told us, there was no treasury bill money was spent on anything other than the roads it was supposed to be spent on.
You mean
Okay?
capital outlay?
No,
No, no,
the treasury,
treasury money.
treasury money was
Correct.
spent,
Treasury money was not spent?
Free money.
was spent on just the roads it was
Exactly.
designated
I
for.
got you.
It was
We
passed-
didn't take from one
You
and
didn't
put it
take
on
from
another.
capital outlay.
Capital outlay
That's
took
right.
care of that, okay?
We passed the resolutions, 4 of them, for the treasury money, which was spent on the roads, all 4 of them. Regardless of well, mine went in the budget, but regardless of that, we won't deal with that now. The other 2 roads, the question is that they're over budget, one by 63% and one by 103%. And that money on those overages were done without a vote. Now, a lot of discussion happened, but again, that's not what was voted on. And that's why we're here today. We have to figure this out.
Okay, so there was no vote, so where did the money come from? Treasury?
Well, can I explain? I know because I'm the one in finance that started this process 3 months ago. I have Kevin to my right and I have Jamie to my left. And what I'll tell you, you too can interrupt me at any time if I've said anything wrong. I'm gonna tell, and if you don't mind, bring up that spreadsheet. In September of 24, we passed 4 resolutions on the first page. No, that's the second page. First page, we passed 4 resolutions. Those were for $75,000 for 5 districts not receiving treasury money. Benson, Burrell, Wilson, Thomas, and Cocoa. Those 5 were passed by resolution.
You said not receiving treasury money, not receiving capital outlay?
Not receiving treasury money on the 4 roads, sir. And I'll go through each road and you'll be able to see it. October of 24, we passed 4 resolutions for Mr. Desautel's money. We did it, resolution, voted on it, and it was appropriated, ready to go. And I see no issue with that. The board did exactly what they were supposed to. So just for us to keep on all of us as the jury and the public to keep on the same track, 2 funding allocations happened. The $75,000 for 5 districts out of roads and bridges, and the treasury money that was passed by resolution in September and October of 24. The jury was asked in the beginning of May for the president, Mr. Wiley, to sign a contract with Diamond B for $1,028,000. And I have a copy of the contract we did last meeting. We, as a jury, assuming the resolutions that we passed of Treasury and the roads and bridges money that was passed, would pay for these roads. I knew of no overages. We never voted on anything. Nothing was clear. We honestly had 2 separate budgets going on. We had Pan American, Kevin. In summary, when I found this information out was 3 months ago before the public meeting. Jamie Wiley was right here, as well as Kevin Barlow and Mr. Rhett DeSalle. We looked at a spreadsheet, and that spreadsheet had amounts on there that I didn't know where it came from. But then on the spreadsheet, they also had where there was a misinterpretation of where the treasury money could be spent. That, hey, and this is from Kevin, we could spend $750 on all the roads. So I want, and listen, then Kevin came back, and I'm not trying, Kevin came back after 3 weeks later, hey, I thought we could use this money on treasury wherever we wanted to. So what happened was they came back 3 weeks later, Pan American and Mr. Kevin, with another version of a spreadsheet. That spreadsheet had capital outlay on it and matching funds, but that wasn't voted on with the jury. Miss Jamie, how many versions of this spreadsheet have we got? 3 to 4 different versions? And am I overestimating that in any way? Because you have been with me in this whole process.
I've seen 3.
You've seen 3. I'll agree on 3. So that's when I started asking questions as to what's going on here. So what I'm going to tell everybody is look at the screens. I'm going to go through each road. and I hope it doesn't take a lot of time, but we need to go through this. Ed Carroll Road had $255,000 of treasury. In the green marks what we have voted on. And red down the road will vote what we not have. We had $255 on Ed Carroll. Only $163,000 was spent on it, okay? Now, if you look at that actual cost in the middle, engineering, in-house work, everything. When we budget a job as the jury and we say $255 is going to Ed Carroll Road, that, guys, tells me that's an all-in amount. We agree with that, right? Okay. The second road, one of mine again, had 127 from Treasury. Only 93,000 was spent. So on my first road, and I'm not harping, only 64% of my allocation was spent. On Furman Road, 73% of my allocation was spent. I never was told any of this as a juryman, and 4 or 5 other jurymen didn't know this either. But it gets a little more interesting. J.B. Luke had Treasury. Let's go to the second page, Miss Laura. J.B. Luke's at the top. Green is approved by resolution, red is not. J.B. Luke had $118,000 to spend. Notice that only the mobilization and asphalt made up for the 118. There's no engineering, no house cost, no anything in that. They moved that outside because the project, for whatever reason, they spent this much money. And then when you look at it, they spent an extra, what is on the budget, $122,232 was spent over budget. This represents 103% over budget on J.B. Luke. Now let's go to Louis Harmson at the bottom. Louis Harmson had a treasury of $250,000 to be spent by Treasury. And notice the over budget. It's in red is $159,822. All of the engineering, all the in-house, well, surprisingly, that one didn't have in-house work, but it was the longest road that we did out of 6 roads. Surprises me, but regardless. This represents on Louis Harmson a 63% over budget that was not voted on. St. Richard's Loop and Una Lane were voted with roads and bridges money only. That was done correctly. If we look at St. Richard's Loop on the next page, notice that in the red was not a voted for. That's capital outlay. It was really roads and bridges that was allowed to pay for those roads. That's what has been proposed today. I'm going to propose something different. But just knowing on budgets, St. Richard's was pretty good. They only spent $7,000 over, represented a 4.51% over budget. Una Lane, $28,212 over budget. The original resolution of roads and bridges granted Una Lane $75,000. $103,000 was spent. And again, I want to tell you, this comes also from Pan American, now that they have tried to help in figuring out all of where these costing come from. And I'm going to make a comment in a little while to clarify on Pan American side. The total budget is now estimated at $1.3 million. As we know of today, that's what we know of today. Red has told me there's topsoil and other things that are coming about that are still costs are coming in. I hope this is the whole amount. I really do, guys, because again, right now this represents a 21% over budget overall. Scroll down one more page. No? Well, you don't have it in there. I had one more page where it showed the bottom. In total, guys, $460,417 was not voted on by the full jury with the resolution. $706,000 was voted on with resolutions. That's the information I'm given from Pan American, and this is the spreadsheet that I was discussing with the Red about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. This is the information we now have, version 3 or version, again, there might be version 5, 6, I don't know. But that's where we come to. So in all I've said, and I hate to spit all the numbers out, what happened was the treasury money was assumed to be spent as a whole of $750. And we had roads and bridges allocation. After the fact, coming back on multiple versions, then that's when the capital outlay gets infused to try to cover the overages. And that's what's happened. And that's where we're at today. So there was never an overage approved for really what it comes to J.B. Luke Road and Louis Hormson Road. That's the two issues that we have today. And I'll make a reference today. I'm gonna tell you, I miss things and I'm human. But to this jury, there's a few people sitting, a few that did not know of this. Mr. Sam's even on the committee for roads and bridges. 3 months ago, when I realized what was going on, I went to the man over there. He was sitting at his chair. And I said, do you realize that you got this much money over and it cost that much? And the man answered me, no, sir. I don't know anything about this. So a juror that got 103% over budget on a road didn't even know about it. So how would somebody like me even know about it? Now I'm supposed to be the finance chairman trying to keep us by budget and also by our Louisiana Budgetary Act. That's what I signed up to do. And Mr. Darrell, and I don't want to argue, that is why, first and foremost, by the people of Avoyelles and their money, we need to keep within budget. We have apparently no understanding of what a budget is. We don't follow the laws. We need to do a better job at that, but each juror signs up. They should learn their own laws. That's where I'm at today. We have to, and we're going to come out of compliance. Would you mind when I talk?
I'm listening to the details, trying to find out what happened on either lane.
Okay, I don't know, that's in there. What I find today now is that what's gonna happen moving forward, this meeting today, per auditors, is in good faith. Doesn't fix the problem. It's a good faith motion that we're doing today. But I wanna present to you, Mr. President, that we do not use capital outlay in any of this. There was a mistake made, it will be noted. You can answer for it, not me. I had no knowledge of this. Let the courts fall where they may, because I do not want us to be out of compliance and written up by the auditor next year. Then the legislative auditor comes in and finds us wrong. Then if they do that, they can fine us and they can make us refund the money for this year. And they also can disbar us from the capital outlay altogether. It's a possibility, and I don't want that to happen to us. So why should we vote in something that we know is gonna have repercussions next year and maybe 5 or 10 years to come from now? I recommend we have to pay the contractor their $977,000, and we'll just deal with the consequences after. That's all. I don't think we need to involve capital outlay at all. It was not appropriated by the police jury. And that's really all I have to say. I'm sorry I was long, but I want the public and I want the jury to understand where I'm coming from with the numbers I was presented.
I have a question. Let me ask a question.
Yes, sir.
All right. From what I understand, you're saying that 450 was not voted on. Okay, so if you approve the 977, you have to find 450 from somewhere other than capital outlay.
That's a big
That's what
road
you're
bridge.
saying?
Which will have to be roads and
450
bridges.
in other funds?
Only road and bridge can
Yeah.
be used to pay for the overage.
Okay. Is it available?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And the second question would be, is there any treasury money that was dedicated for a road, that there was an under, okay, and that under, instead of being returned to the state, which needed to be done, was used on another road?
Let me clarify something, please, if you don't mind.
Please.
We have not received anything from Treasury. I'm sure they can, Mr. Brennan can also attest to this. This is a reimbursed program. So you have to expend it in order for you to receive
Expend
it.
it to get it.
Yes, so we didn't receive anything yet. We're in the beginning stages of paying these invoices.
I got you.
So
We're
if
still
you
trying to
pay
figure it out.
It can't come out of treasury? It can come out of treasury? The 450?
If they choose,
If they
I mean,
vote
it's
on
gonna come out of the road and bridge account.
I understand.
for our
But
purposes
to get
and,
reimbursed,
right,
can it come out of?
Yes.
How much is left in treasury that you can apply for?
Whatever Travis had
whatever,
on his road.
I have,
Yeah,
I have
about-
two
yeah,
different reports,
about,
so I don't know.
Let's call it 600,000. She will be able to get reimbursed from what Daryl got.
Okay, so the
Out of
450 that
750.
he's talking about that wasn't voted on, if y'all approve the paying of this bill, you could vote the 450 to come out of treasury and get reimbursed.
No,
No,
No, no, and I don't think it's 450, it's 355 that we were allotted for treasury. I'm
No,
sorry, for capital
no,
outlay.
no, we weren't allotted anything from capital outlay. The Roads and Bridges, hold on, the Roads and Bridges Committee in February told Pan American to send a letter into the state in March to tell the state for this old capital outlay to use it on the 6 roads of this year. That didn't have a vote or a resolution either.
understand that.
You follow me?
Yeah, I'm
So,
following
but
that.
we don't have to use that money, and we shouldn't, because we don't want to get dinged next year with it, right, by the auditor.
Capital outlay. I thought
Well, you just
Treasury?
asked me.
that we had
See, that's the
treasury money.
confusing thing. We went capital outlay, House bill money, and then we've done a local 75,000 for 5 districts. So whenever you combine all those things, we have chaos and confusion.
Mm-hmm.
'cause it
So
wasn't
in a nutshell,
clarified.
he is asking that we do not utilize the 355 in excess capital outlay funds to pay for this project.
I understand that. I'm asking
Okay.
about treasury. Did you say available treasury was 600,000?
We should,
750.
yep,
And treasury is different than capital outlay.
yes, sir.
750.
So if you vote to pay this invoice, the money comes on out of road and bridges. But how do you access treasury money?
Once we pay the bill, she has to
We'll have
show
to
that we paid
submit-
the
So you
contractor.
can claim the 450 from treasury.
Yes.
No.
Well,
So no,
only on
because
what they
that says-
use
No.
though. Only,
just for
only-
450 has not been
Specific roads
voted
it was
on,
used for.
whether it's roads and any money, Mr.
I
Carter, you
understand what y'all
follow?
are voting today,
Well,
To pay the
to
bill.
say fix it, just pay the bill, yes,
to
sir.
pay the bill, but the
Yeah.
money has to come from somewhere.
Yes,
I'm trying
sir.
to find out if
Absolutely.
you
So
can ask
whenever
the
we
state.
submit the payment, if, let's say, for example, Ed Carroll, they've only spent, I'm looking at this report, which is different from this one. I'm showing a subtotal of 136,778.64, which means we would submit to Treasury, this is how much we spent. This is all we're going to receive from Treasury. This is it. Whatever you spent is what you get
Is
back
what you're gonna be reimbursed.
Yes.
So you don't get it up front, you get it out.
You get it
for
out.
the whole amount. And right.
Correct.
So whatever you spent is what you get.
So the
For
makeup
House
has
bill
to
money.
come, that
And
150 has
if
to
you
come
were
back.
to use
First, and then
capital
you
outlay, it's the
request
same thing.
reimbursement.
Straight money.
Okay, so my
That's right.
question is the same. If y'all vote to approve paying, North Diamond D,
Mm-hmm.
and 450 has not yet been voted on, y'all vote on it today to approve it, and you pay it out of roads and bridges,
Mm-hmm.
can you request from Treasury to use, to pay 450?
Only for the roads that we have used that money on
Okay.
though.
That's about 600,000, right, Mr. Charlie?
Was Treasury designated?
Yes.
Treasury money was
Specific,
dedicated on certain roads,
project specific.
not capital outlay.
I sent you the House bill.
separate. It's project
So in-
specific.
you
Or
want-
was it in Globo? Because I'm getting confused between capital outlay was specifically for roads, including amounts.
That's right.
Treasury was specifically.
Capital outlay was a blanket project from 2016.
Okay.
It's always kept the same
I
project
had it
number.
reversed. Okay.
So
Yes.
50 J051601 started in
Gotcha.
16. Every year that went by, another submission was
I got it.
made.
Okay.
And it was never a named road. It
I
was
got it.
only roadway. Then later on down the line, they would select, okay, I want, Desatel Lane, I want Riddle Lane, I want blah, blah, blah.
Put my name in.
I'm just
But
using
there
an
is a
example.
road named
All right.
Globo Drive.
Let me ask you,
It's
can I ask you,
Sorry.
let me ask you a question. This was old capital outlay. So that old capital outlay was approved for certain projects. It was just left over. So actually, the money was approved to be used by us.
For,
For what?
For what?
Okay, listen, I'm
Right.
past
For
this.
whatever.
I'm
Any
past this.
parish
No,
road.
But I'm just wanna clarify that.
Right.
Okay,
For-
all right.
for-
So moving forward, I think everybody's in agreement that on these next 3 roads we have, and y'all, I guess whoever the engineer is, and Kevin, you need to understand this too, is that we're not gonna throw in anything else with that,
Keep it straight.
unless we vote to do so.
I agree with you.
Unless
Mr.
we vote
Darrell.
to do so.
If we agree
Now-
to budget in roads and bridges or whatever you want, that's fine.
Now go
But
back,
We need to vote on it.
go back, before we put this in motion, go back to what you said the other night about forming the capital outlay committee. It's a 4-3 vote. I thought about it, it was close, and I said it didn't follow protocol. if I was to appoint one, since I'm sitting in this chair, this is how I would approach that. I would put you on it because you're over finance.
I don't
I
have
would
to-
put Road and Bridge chairman on it because he works with Kevin, all right? I would also put one of the two guys on Road District 2, just so they're not getting slighted, okay? But I'd also like to include my Civil Works Director and my Secretary Treasurer on that committee. So we could sit down and go over everything. Wouldn't have to have a chairman. We could just say, hey, one of us could be the spokesman. This is what we all, I think we'd have done that. We wouldn't have this problem. And I'm all for that. I'm all for that, okay? And I think there is a need for it, so I'm just telling you, if I had to do it, that's where I would do it. Do you want to put in a motion to clarify that we pay Diamond B using road and bridge money?
Sure,
we got-
I don't
no?
want my name on anything with capital outlay.
There's no capital outlay, we're just paying this bill.
Just
Correct,
pay
Mr.
the bill.
DA?
Let the budget issues lie where they are.
We have to pay the bill. The guys
We have
did the
to
work.
pay it.
We have to pay the
Well,
bill.
we gotta say where
I
we-
will make that motion.
All right.
We pay the Diamond B bill, the full amount.
And remember, we're gonna have another bill coming for another 230,000,
Retainage.
whatever it said on there.
I'm only motioning
Yeah.
that we pay
For
Diamond B.
977.
But you
Well, it
have to
says less
designate-
retainage.
You have to
Yes, I put
designate
that
where
in
the
there.
money's gonna come from.
I can't
Because
do
once
that. I don't know where the
I
money's
have
coming
I'm gonna
from.
go back. It has to be road and bridge.
Okay, then the money needs to come out of road and
This is
bridge.
really our only option right now, I think, in my opinion.
Okay, I have a motion by Mr. Pierce to approve Diamond B request for payment for $977,076.09 less retainage for Act 776 roadway improvements. Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Thomas. Question or comments from the jury?
One more, Mr. President.
All right,
I appreciate your comment about the committee that you would like to do. I want to make, to validate to the state representative sitting here, I want to say this in the meeting. I appreciate all the money that he or anybody else gets for us, and I know we're all appreciative. Next time, I voted to get engineering to where we evaluate, we get an engineering company. Next time on this next project of the Treasury money, Mr. Desautel, there will not be, I'm gonna do my best job I can in making sure that whomever engineering company gets selected, they are either Pan American, those guys, whomever, they will be over the budget of the job. They will be helping us on resolutions. They will be every month telling the jury what's going on. I was presented with two separate budgets, and it has not worked out. And we also, Mr. Darrell, recommended that these amounts stay separate. Now, Kevin, I say Kevin because it's always, and I'm not trying to be against Kevin, I'm just saying, now, you need to go back to Diamond B, Pan American, get another invoice that splits out the Treasury money. Because right now, we have a total amount of $977. We need individual invoices for that. Maybe we have it.
I'm sorry?
I thought she split that when it comes
No,
to.
sir.
No, she doesn't split anything that
We
the
split it before,
contractor
ARPA, we
does.
split it on capital outlay
But
to get
wait,
one
wait,
bill
wait,
in.
but
Wait,
there,
I'm just
there was a
asking.
vote
I mean, we'll change it,
during
no
that
problem.
time. There was a vote to split that money and how to pay it.
Correct.
I didn't
Yeah,
choose
and
how to
break
pay it.
down, yeah.
And I
Break
need to,
down the numbers.
I don't ever choose
He
how
can
to
do
pay
that. He
bills.
can go to contract.
I never choose how, let's clarify that
No,
before
I'm
we
not
go
saying
any
choose,
further.
I'm saying we give you
I
a
do not
breakdown of
choose
how
as
to
the
pay it.
secretary treasurer how we spend the people's money. These 9 men vote and tell me how to spend this
I'm not
money.
trying to split hairs with you, I'm saying.
I'm
we
not
give you-
trying to
we give a
split hairs,
breakdown
I'm
when the
trying
bill
to clear
comes
the
in.
record.
Yeah.
I'm trying to clear the record for everyone that's listening and watching, because that is not a position I take with this jury. I need them to tell me how to pay it.
Go back and give us separate.
And remember,
I just wanna make sure,
a
I don't know if
resolution.
you're gonna be able to send the treasury a bill for
No,
900,000
we never did.
and say 100 was for this.
No,
No,
and
no,
that's what I was saying
You
before.
need
I mean, if you
There's gonna be
submit it and
4
say,
bills.
you have have to do it separate,
We're only
otherwise you
sending
can't
about
get your money.
600,000 of the 750 to Treasury for refund once she pays it, sir.
But you can't
Not
send.
Every
Every
project,
bill.
that's right, you're right.
You gotta send them a bill that says JD
Separate.
Root Road, $119,055.
That's right.
10
Period.
cents.
That's correct.
Yeah, you
Yes, sir.
can't send the whole nine
totally agree.
seventy-seven, because
So
They're
I
not
don't know if, I mean, this is procedurally, I don't wanna get involved. I really, just an outsider looking at it, you may wanna ask for the bills before you vote on how to pay them.
We have the bills, sir. It's been a month and a half, month and a half
The
now.
motion is simply to pay it out of roads and bridges.
Right.
What you'll do after that still has to be voted on.
that's right, to
That's
code
right.
it in accounting.
We still have to clear it up, sir.
And you'll need to
I'm
vote.
just going to pay it,
Okay,
just to make
Mr.
sure we
Sam made
clear
the
it.
Once they vote.
That's
He
right.
made the motion to
That's
pay the bill. Does he have to say a motion to pay the bill and that's coming $450 for roads and bridges?
Include, the whole amount has to be paid out of roads and bridges.
And he
If they
needs to
get
make-
reimbursed on anything, they have to
Right,
vote
but
on
he has,
that.
but he has to
Back to
make
road and
that
bridge.
motion that way and include the amount,
Well, I
correct?
mean, yeah, it would be nice, but for the record, you can only pay out of roads and bridges.
That's right.
And I didn't finish two more sentences. I love to talk. Furthermore, the engineering company that I would like to see this, I'm only one juryman out of 9, they will be responsible for this project. They will be responsible for this budget. And we're gonna work with them, okay? Mr. Kevin has a very busy job. He has the maintenance of this whole parish, and he has a busy job. He's in a state, I want us to deal directly with, one-on-one with an engineering company. I had 8 years in Hesmer as mayor with success. I worked with Brennan Gas Board right there, and every resolution, everything was on point. But we dealt as a council and a mayor one-on-one. I think that's gonna give us the best clarity of an engineering company, whomever it is, and we won't have this mistake again. And I wanna say that, it's gonna happen.
Question, when Jamie submits the bill for a treasury project, she's gonna need a bill from Pan American, Delta, whoever it is. If it was $118,000, she needs a bill for $118,000 to submit to treasury, correct? So if the cost was actually $150,000, she needs a separate bill for $118 to submit to treasury.
She can submit the bill
The
for
150,
150.
whatever
They're only
it
gonna
was,
give
And
one.
they'll
they're
only
only-
reimburse.
That's why I suggested, I don't know how y'all vote, I don't know how you approve one bill, and then you're gonna be getting another bill coming in.
Correct.
That's gonna have a different amount, but you didn't vote on it because you voted in Globo with a bunch of bills, so that's confusing me, but I think it'd be very
Thank
simple
you
if you
for
just
saying
voted this bill for.
I think if we
yes,
just
this
vote
bill-
for what was actually spent for House bill money, so let's go down the list and look at it. Ed Carroll, submit that amount, what was
Figure out the rest
actually
later.
spent, right,
Figure out the rest later,
that's it.
and be voted on by the entire
Yeah.
body.
But that has nothing to do with the motion on the table.
No, sir, it's just to pay, and then we'll come back and try to,
We need to vote on, to pay the contractor and then figure out how to allocate what
yeah.
and where.
Okay. Let's put it to a vote. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, need to discuss the Veterans Office. I'll bring you up to speed, and Alan can help me out, because we both know the issue. The issue was, we had a problem the other day that involved, first of all, let me specify, their office is in the Ag Center. All right, we moved that back over a year ago, I think. All right.
Ag Center.
Okay, Ag Center, okay. And we had an incident the other day where we had a veteran kinda got a little crazy, I guess. I hate to say that term, but
PTSD.
yeah, yeah, he got irate and upset, and we had to evacuate the building. We put some people in harm's way, and the general consensus from us, and I kind of briefly told y'all about this, and Cedric, who's here today, and thank you for being here, that'll help us out. The consensus was that we need to move him. We need to find some other place. The problem with that is that we thought about putting him in our little portable building where we got Barry. Evidently, the Veterans Office, Barry made it pretty plain that they weren't for that. All right, so now we're back to square one, okay? But now, there's some other issues that we have. Okay, so that's one issue. We gotta find a place to put this guy, all right? The second issue, we have some problems that we think not necessarily benefiting our veterans. And we're talking as what we're getting for the money we're putting into it. You wanna elaborate? You have most of the, if some, basically Cedric gets some complaints, okay? And, we'll go ahead and make you aware of them here today. And,
We've had some,
hopefully you can, hopefully we can work it out. But if not, we might have to go somewhere else to get it worked out, okay? Go ahead.
we got some complaints from the people that work at the Ag Center. Cedric, I know you're aware of this, we've talked about it already, of the people coming in and out, and our ladies are not secretaries for the VA office. We don't provide a secretary. But they have been kind of used like a secretary. They greet the people coming in, the VA people who need the services. And we've had some complaints that Cedric wasn't always available, and that sometimes he wasn't at the office, sometimes he cut his hours short. I know he travels quite a bit, but we've had several complaints. So we're trying to work those things out to get time corrected and get people service. We don't want to lose this VA program for the parish. Right now, we have anybody right now needing services. Because of that incident that happened, they're having to go to Alexandria right now. That's been posted. I was at the office yesterday at the Ag Center, and they are handing out a notice for anybody coming in to please go to Alexandria or call Alexandria office to get services until we can get this kind of worked out. I have personally talked to our sheriff. He is gonna help us to locate another place if he has a place available. And he has other, and what, the problem's security. Cedric did the right thing the other day. He got the building evacuated when that thing happened, when that incident happened. What was not real good is the sheriff's office deputies and the city of Mansoura, the chief of police and a deputy, had to go to our building over there to settle that incident. And I was told that when Mr. Wilbert got back over to the building was locked, and he didn't know why at 1:30 in the afternoon the building was locked. Then he found out all the details. But anyway, because of security reasons, it's not the fault of Cedric. It's some of the clientele you have to deal with. He's very aware of that, that we are going to have to find a place for him that has a little bit better security. Or the other option is us hiring a security officer, which would be very expensive.
Yeah.
And so we don't want to do that. The other part of that is we did look at the possibility of securing his office away from the rest of the building. Problem with that, again, is we can separate him, but if he's not there, people are coming in the other door. And, because he does have an outside door in his office. And, but, so we are in the process of looking for a good office for
Any options?
the VA office.
That's why we're
And
asking.
we're looking for other options right now.
Cedric, you mentioned the other day you had some friends or people that you know, and clarify, you've been driving from Thibodeau this whole time you've been here?
Back and forth, give or take. But, I'm not here on any official capacity, saying I've been instructed not to continue
Okay.
searching for any locations at this time.
That's fine.
So, Mr. President, are we mandated to have an office here, or is just
I'm
something
trying to
that we
find
do?
it.
to have
we're
a VA office here? Is that the kind of the two sides of it?
We have an agreement with the.
We have agreement to provide a place,
Okay.
and plus place utilities, the phones, and
Who?
Who's in that building on Patty Street that they used to be?
The,
Down Mark Street and turn.
hopefully we find something that we
had a
own
house
and not have to
tore
pay
that
any more
down.
expenses.
Then they went to the council on aging.
Oh,
Library tore that down?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Where we had
Oh, Lord, same
that
shit.
was the old.
Listen, we don't need it, we don't need to put this in, anywhere where there's somebody else. Okay?
So it's gonna have to be like
We,
a single.
yeah, he needs his own
where it's
place, own
just
space, and nobody
for
in
those
harm way,
circumstances.
except maybe him and the person he's dealing with.
Correct.
That's what we want. Yes, ma'am.
I am a veteran, and if it wasn't for Mr. Cedric being in Avoyelles Parish and helping me as much as he has, he's only one person, and he's providing services for the Navy, the Marines, National Guard, and the Air Force. And he doesn't even have a secretary, because there's not
That's
enough
not,
money.
that's
We
not
don't
our
have to provide
responsibility.
them.
I understand that.
I understand
But
that.
y'all, well, listen, y'all throw that out the window. That's not in the contract.
I understand
And
that.
y'all the one drove up the contract. The Veterans Affairs is the one who drove up the contract saying what each party's supposed to submit. I have that.
Your point is just you're trying to say how much good he does.
Yes.
But we're only to provide him a place and pay basically the utilities.
Yes, sir.
in
I was
general.
just trying to speak on the
I'm-
unfortunate events that
I'm
the
not-
secretary, because we might want to.
That can't, that's not gonna come from us.
That's not, they're not, sorry.
We're tight. Our budget's pretty tight as it is.
I understand.
And I hate that. I wish we could, but it is what it
I
is.
think what she's trying to say is that, you know, I am one person, and I don't just handle Avoyelles Parish veterans. You know, I'm open to the nation. So I do have veterans that contact me from other states, other parishes, and they choose to come to Avoyelles Parish, to get services
We
from.
said that we're concerned with the Avoyelles Parish.
Yeah, I understand, but
Okay,
those veterans are coming to the parish
Right.
to see me and, to receive services. Whether they live here or not, they still have to come to Avoyelles Parish.
okay.
Darryl,
Yeah, go ahead, Mark.
a while back, we looked at, Chad's building right here, the old minute law office. I mean, he's got plenty of room and he's willing to rent an area. I mean, I don't know.
That's the problem, rent, you know, we talking money, guys. I mean, I'm throwing it out here. Yes, ma'am.
I'm actually willing to volunteer for free to help him because he's only one person. And like you said, that people were complaining that he hasn't been at his office or he leaves early. Like, he's only one person, and I feel bad for the ladies that feel like they have to be a secretary, but in that building, you have to sign in order to even get to Mr. Cedric.
Okay,
Everyone
again,
has
that's
to.
gonna have to come from y'all's end, not, that, we can't do that. That's gonna have to come from Veterans Affairs.
Yes, sir.
You need to take that up with them. Back to
Mr.
what
Darrow,
we,
Mr. Darrow, does the VA pony any money, or we're mandated to have
we
the
pay,
facility?
I'm trying to find the contract. I
I
had it.
have it.
So we just entered in a contract
We
years
pay
ago.
like 27, 24.
4,000 a year, and it's to pay.
We
the
pay that plus
salary.
provide the place and pay the utilities.
I got you.
Operational costs.
Yeah,
That's what the Constitution.
that's what it is.
I got you.
So now, if you wanna rent a building, that's up to y'all. So,
There's no office in the courthouse that we
well, the
have
only one
security
I
already?
would think would be the old sheriff's office, but he's
He
using it.
has 2 people in there, he would have to take them back, and we would have to provide a space for him.
Rapid area, go through.
Yeah, it's been an ongoing.
After it was spaced downstairs.
since
Well, I don't know if
I've
it
been
gets
on the
solved here. Can we
Yeah,
just think about it
yeah,
and
that's
kind
what
of get
I
some
know.
scenarios and then possibly propose it in the
How
budget
much
for
you
next
think?
year?
Why don't you do this, Mark, talk to him again, see how much he wants for rent, and we could come propose that again. But in a nutshell, or we can pay security over there, but I think we're in agreement. Cedric was in agreement, so we need to get out of there, get away and kinda get his own place.
Can Mr. Mark come up with
Might
a
hear it now.
recommendation
Yeah,
for
well, I mean,
the
just-
jury, and then we
Hope
can
out
put it
there.
in next year's budget for
Hope out.
January if the jury approves?
That'd be the easiest thing, but,
We really
Yeah,
can't do
fine, yeah.
nothing until then anyway,
We-
but, yeah.
Years ago, when we had that problem, we looked at, there's a restroom right here.
If you're talking about Barry's office over there, that restroom's bigger than that. It could be remodeled into a room.
The pump station, the little pump room?
Yep.
I guess it could be.
Oh.
I don't know how you redesign it.
Okay, well, I mean, we don't have to make a decision today, but guys, this is a problem we need to think about. And hopefully, come the November meeting, we can have something.
Could we, maybe the sheriff, he doesn't have, maybe something there that we could,
I've already talked to the sheriff.
He don't wanna give his spot up, did you talk to him
I
about that?
didn't ask him.
I can talk to him, and, anybody sees him can ask him, that would be the ideal thing.
With security here
yes,
already.
across.
It's here,
You
right here at
remember
the
that,
courthouse.
the
In the
big
courthouse.
ordeal we had between the coroner's office and the sheriff and swapping? Well, he has the office here.
Who's he?
The sheriff
Sheriff,
has.
and he got-
Talking about for the.
He's got three, probation.
Right. But if he would take them back, that would free that office. But I
The
don't
DA's
know.
office.
You, fine, we might have a room, but you're telling me you would want the probation people where they go straight from court to the probation office to take care of, to go to the sheriff's office?
No, I'm not saying that's
No, I'm
ideal,
just-
I'm just saying that's the only,
We throwing that out, that's a good argument, now we know.
There
Now
is
we know.
no, there is no money in the budget for rent, correct?
no.
No, not now,
Alright,
but we could, like Travis said, we can put it for January.
If the jury
If we
says
can
yes,
find a
we can
place.
have it live for July 1st. If
That's
the
only-
jury says yes.
I have one possible place I can tell you all about, but there would
Me
be
too.
some rent, it's
Why
not
don't,
me.
on the side of you have an extra office.
Just ask them.
Extra room?
Yeah, with no secretary.
This young lady will volunteer.
There you go.
I'm not getting involved.
Oh, well, that's settled. It's the DA's office now.
Wherever it's located, you can volunteer. no
Well, let me ask you this, I thought about,
Location, we do need him here in Avoyelles Parish.
I think everybody agrees with that.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna find a spot.
And
We
there's
used to
no
house
way
them
I
in
can
here.
drive
Yeah.
to Pineville.
I think everybody agrees with it.
we're gonna
We're gonna find a spot, you gotta find a,
another thing I thought about,
we'll commit it to you.
another thing I thought about, the school board has some facilities. I don't know if they would be willing to do it. I just, in a government agreement, I kinda don't wanna go that way. But I mean, that's a thought, you got the ex-charter school over there that's shut down in Mansoura, nice place. So, I don't,
Yeah, but if you rent it now, they're gonna
okay,
Yeah.
just put your thinking caps on, Mark, check and see how much you want, and make a proposal, and we'll vote on it and talk about it some more in November, so we can move on. All right,
Can I just ask one more question?
yes, ma'am.
As long as it's in the budget, then it's fine?
Yeah,
They gotta find a place first.
but we gotta find a place. And we're gonna find a place, but in the meantime, we're just gonna have to operate like it is.
Go to Alexandria?
That's the way, that's the way it is. And that ain't come from us, that must come from y'all's end.
Oh, it's okay. We have internet right now, so, and we have vehicles, so as long as it's temporary,
Okay,
I agree with y'all.
all right. The ugly word, capital outlay selection, 2026.
I'm thinking we're going home.
Anybody? Mr. Frank?
Hey, Mr. President, if the jury doesn't mind, I want to do the capital outlay, application for this year for the police jury.
Be nice.
Jamie has a login, and I really believe that I could accomplish it. All I need is, again, a vote by the jury and a resolution to follow on what we will ask of capital outlay for next year.
Okay.
By the jury, whatever you want. I emailed Ms. Jamie 2 requests that I had. One was for improvements within the village of Hesmer, and the other one was equipment needs for the 5th Ward Volunteer Fire Department, which Mr. Darrell kind
You got
of
some
taps
prices?
me and you.
You got
I just had a price, $100,000 on the improvements for the village of Hesmer,
think
and
that's what we need.
$50,000 for the 5th Ward
All right,
Volunteer
let's
Fire
get all
Department.
this
I'm doing
down.
that.
So those two are submitted. Anybody else have something? All right,
I have a,
Jacob?
Just go slow, go ahead.
Okay.
I have a request for a boat for the fire department in Simsport.
Vote.
It's a fire and rescue boat, and it'll benefit the port and town of Simsport.
Mm-hmm.
How much?
Good.
I give it to the fire chief and see. Here's a quote on it.
Just,
Okay,
can
well,
you give
kinda
me a
like it.
roundabout?
Anybody else? All right, Mr. Pierce.
Animal control again.
I need a, Jacob, if you could.
Yes.
Haven't we got 350 thousand submitted for that already? Or what
Yeah,
did we
so-
say?
Me and Red had a conversation today.
It's due the first, that's why I'm asking, I need to know.
The plan we submitted last year in November or October. Then not the 2 million one, the one that last October.
300,000.
300,000. That one right there.
Okay, resubmit it, I guess.
Resubmit for the 350.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, the, Alan,
I'd like to see if we can get some money to build a handicap park in the parish.
all right? You get approximate number on
Any
it?
amount?
Give me an amount,
About 200,000.
200,000.
Jacob, for
All
your
right.
vote?
I'll get
Mr.,
We talked about the 115,000 for equipment,
all right,
that would be, we match the rest.
We don't have enough equipment now?
This is a special piece of equipment to do our asphalt patching, our in-house.
yeah, we can actually work on the road ourselves.
It's actually something that came from me, a
Yes.
suggestion. If you look at,
Moving on.
moving on, there's a little section of the road that, I don't know what happened, if the asphalt got thin, if it just whatever. But I think if you go and
Yeah, then
try to take care of this problem now,
I'm happy.
we can do it pretty inexpensive. With the, you know,
I don't know what
this
this
thing's
is.
doing a lot of, it's called, rut busting. It's just trying to go, keep these roads a little bit longer in service.
All right,
Yeah, this is a skid steer with a milling head and the attachments needed to do this. And using a whole bunch of other stuff too.
okay.
Now, Mr. Allen, 200,000 for handicap park
What is
doesn't
that
sound
gonna
like
do?
a lot. Did you get like?
We have the property already.
Have the property, and did you like talk to somebody, a plan of what you would like to do?
Yeah.
And that's what they come up with, 200,000. Mr. Sam, for the animal shelter, I'm assuming we got turned down last year instead of 300, should we not ask for a little bit more than that?
I would like to,
How about a homeless
Well,
shelter?
put it down, what you want?
at least 350.
Put 350 down for the animal, yeah. All right, what about roads in the parish? Do we wanna ask for any for roads?
Mr. Moore,
We normally do. We normally ask for 2 million.
what you got?
I'd like to have Marvin Graham done.
So you want some on the roadway? Roads?
That's Marvin Graham.
Well, somebody else might want to.
Yeah, let's talk about just,
It's just an allotment of money. The jury, if Mr. Desatel is successful for us in whatever he can get, then we
Let's,
have to come back and then decide where the roads go
Let's
and
have-
the allotment of
y'all
allocation. of
on
funds.
agreement, 2 million for roads, 2 million for road.
Got it.
Excuse me, y'all asked what roads? I know two roads that need work.
We got a bunch of roads.
Road and, Tucker Brevent Road. It's very dangerous down there.
You know where Highway 107 is? Cross the bridge and come over there. I'll show you a bunch of roads.
How do you feel, Mr. Desatel?
Let's go, let me know when.
Okay, anything else? All right,
Mr. President, if you don't mind, I'll take those amounts, me and Jamie, and we'll submit the application.
let's,
Within the
y'all
next
wanna,
week.
let's put,
Is that y'all okay with that?
anybody
Jury?
want a motion to allow Travis to do the capital outlay? All right, Sam will make that motion, second by Jacob. Question or comments from jurors? Question or comments from the audience?
Does Mr. Desatel have any suggestions for us there that we should ask for?
I suggest you ask for a lot, and I suggest y'all,
Take what you get.
and you ask for a lot of different projects, because this has happened to me in the past. We get down to the last hour, and there's just so happens some money here or there that I can try to ask for, and it's just a whole lot easier to sell it to my colleagues, knowing that it's something that the jury and the parish and everybody agrees to and everybody wants. In the past, I've come up with ideas myself at the last minute. May not have been the best idea, I don't know. But, so, if you do have other ideas, and you
Put it out there, doesn't
put it
hurt
out
to
there, it
ask.
doesn't cost us anything to ask.
Cause I did kinda quote you at their last meeting, I said, on capital outlays every November, I heard Mr. Desatel at a meeting say we don't ask for enough. We're not gonna get it all, we may get very little, but ask, it doesn't hurt to ask. And are we asking for enough for the animal shelter? Should we ask more than that, or is that reasonable?
So, the more dollars you ask for, the harder it is to get the application. So it's kind of a
Well,
fun
she's the one that
line.
went crazy.
I wouldn't ask for more than I needed. The animal shelter, I'll give you an example. one of the questions, you know, if I'm trying to pitch it in a meeting, they're gonna say, okay, do they have a plan to maintain the shelter? Do they have the funds to maintain
The
the shelter?
operating budget.
They have operating budget. I'll be like, I don't know.
The personnel.
The personnel. So all of those things, and these are, we're dealing with a lot of sophisticated, smart people who trying to spend the state's dollars wisely and trying to make sure we don't waste any money. So,
Correct.
that's the question I'm gonna be asked. So if you have the answer to that prior to me going to the meeting, it's a whole lot easier to
So
say.
that's the key. So when he submits the application, animal control, we want this shelter.
You said
He
30?
just submits for that. In that, can he detail whether there, or is that just information he passes on to you?
He passes on me, I'm the salesman,
Okay.
if that makes any sense. I gotta go sell it.
So if you wanna sell it, then we need to give you a detailed, Mr. Allen, a detail, this is what it's gonna cost, this is what we'd like to do, the
It
animal
would be
shelter.
nice if he said, this is the piece of property we're looking at, this is what I wanna do, this is kind of the idea, this is.
We kinda got that with the property nailed down.
You need details,
Needs
bottom
some
line,
details, yeah.
to be able to sell.
And we have roads,
He will put like a plan together.
right? You asked everybody to submit a road.
And we have our matching funds, and we have our maintenance funds, that's part of capital outlay now, you have to do at least 10% match of, maintenance on whatever your capital outlay, building or whatever. That was that law that came out 4 years ago,
But I
whatever.
did change it,
Oh, you changed it?
well, I got, one of my, the way I sold it was, I don't think we need to put 10% on the sidewalk. Like,
That's right.
why are we putting 10% in an escrow on a sidewalk?
Sidewalk project, right.
So we went back and we started modifying the bill, that
Oh,
was
so the
sent to
building's now-
Womack's bill.
Yeah,
So it's got kind of whittled down a little bit, but I still think the building's work.
good.
Okay. All right, motion's been made to allow our finance chairman to do our capital outlay for 2026. Let's put it to a vote. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I'd just like to make an announcement. My phone is dead starting tomorrow because my daughter's getting married Friday and I will be out of sync. So you can call Jacob or decide things amongst yourselves. I get a motion.
Money left after the wedding, we'll.
No, well,
There ain't gonna be no money left.
thank God, I know the finance chairman and all that on that end, so, okay. I need an entertained motion to adjourn. Motion by Mr. Thomas, second by Mr. Jacob, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All right,
And,
we're adjourned.
thank you for your service. And thank Representative
Yes,
for
thank you
the
for
money
your
received.
service.